What's up, guys? This is CWeezy13 coming back to you today with another video, and as you can see, I'm bringing to you my Cubics deck profile. I'll be showcasing you the main deck, which is 41 cards, and side deck and extra deck. On that, let's get started. First off, it wouldn't be a deck without this guy. Yugioh, the Meteor Cubic Vessel. This guy is the main engine in the deck. He's a foolish burial for the deck. When he's normal or special summoned, you can send one Cubics card from your deck to the graveyard. And I'll show you later on which cards that you would want to send with that. Next you have Yugioh, the Cubic Seed. Another staple. He's your second normal summon of the deck. You want to run 3 of him. He cannot be destroyed by battle, and when he is attacked, he can equip to a monster, and its effects are negated, and it cannot attack. So it's a really good card. Now, the boss monster of the deck will be Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubic Lord. This guy is insane, and the best deck to play against with this deck would be Zodiac. This is like anti-Zodiac. This is just unbelievable, insane, crazy. This guy, you can special summon him by revealing 3 other cubic cards with different names in your hand. Then you special summon him. He's got 3,000 attack, and when he destroys a monster by an attack, he can attack again. And at the end of your turn, every time you end your turn, you and your opponent takes 3,000 damage, which I'll get into some of the combos here in a minute, but it's just insane. Now, you just have these guys right here just as names. I mean, you can summon them, but more than likely, you're not going to. They're just there for names, basically. Then you have a Buster Gundle, the Cubic Behemoth. Now, he is a guy that you would want to consider summoning close to the end of the duel if you don't have no other options. He can attack 3 times a turn. When he is summoned, he gets 3,000 attack. So, I mean, this is a really good monster. I'd highly recommend him if you ain't got no other options. You got him in the hand, and you can summon him to summon him at the end of the game. Next, you have Yugioh, the Cubic King. Now, this guy is really good and very controversial. You distribute 1 cubic monster to special summon him. Then he gains 800 attack, and when he is special summoned, your opponent takes 800 damage. That's why I run 2 of them in here to push for extra damage and, you know, possibly OTK your opponent. Then you run 2 Summoner Monk. When this card is summoned, goes to defense position, then you discard 1 spell card, special summon a level 4 monster from the deck. You summon this guy to summon your Yugioh. Yugioh activates its effect, sends a cubic card from the deck to the graveyard. Get that play started. Then play the 1 Lonely Maxi for the last monster. Discard it to the graveyard, shuts down your opponent. Even if he chooses to keep going, for every monster that they special summon, you get to draw 1 card. So, self-explanatory. Then you have Cubic Karma. This card is ridiculous. You basically, you want to send this to the graveyard with Yugioh. Because it's a search card. You can banish it from your graveyard, and then you can search any cubic monster from your deck and add it to your hand. Also, it's got 2 other effects. You can activate it, attach it to a cubic card, except for V-Jam, I do believe. And you can send 3 V-Jams from your deck or hand to the graveyard, and the equipped monster gains 800 attack for each. And even if this card leaves the field, the monster still has that attack, so it's permanent. And the other effect is, if V-Jam is special summoned during your opponent's turn, you can send this card to the graveyard and your opponent loses half their life points. half their life points. That's just insane. Next we run 3 Cubic Wave. Basically another target for Crimson Over the Dark Cubic Lord, but it also has a Fiendish Chain effect. You can banish it along with however many number of monsters, let's say three cubic monsters from your graveyard, and you Fiendish Chain 3 monsters. So they lose their effects and they cannot attack. That's what that does. Then you run 2 Foolish Burial Goods. This helps get your Cubic Karma and unification of the Cubic Lords to the graveyard. Cubic Karma, we already explained what that does. We'll get to the other one in just a second. Then you have Reoccurring Nightmare. This card is, when it's activated, you select 2 dark monsters with 0 defense in your graveyard and then add them to your hand. So that's basically just recycling your stuff, and it's never dead unless you draw it first turn, you know, then it's dead. 2 Twin Twisters because you want to get rid of back row, and also you don't mind discarding stuff. Then 2 Dark World Dealings. Your draw engine of the deck, and it just helps. It helps you draw cards. Now your protection is 2 Quaking Mirror Forces. Now the side deck, when I take out cards, I take out these 2 to switch them out for 2 other cards. Quaking, you know, your opponent attacks you. Every attack position monster they have goes to face down defense position, and they cannot change their battle position. Now, what's different from my deck is these 2. Ceasefire. Whenever a opponent... Well, hold on. I done forgot. If a face-down defense position monster and an effect monster on the field is on the field, you can change all face-down defense position monsters face up, and then your opponent loses 500 life points for each effect monster on the field. And flip effect monsters effects are not activated at this time. Then unification of the Cubic Lords. It's your polymerization for the deck, and it's also a special summon, because you can banish this from your graveyard and special summon a cubic monster, but the monster you normally want a special summon to be Duza, so you can activate its effect. And now this is the 41 card in the deck. You can take it out, but I like it for just another name, Cubic Rebirth. Now off to the side deck. Run 2 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Help get rid of stuff. 2 Humongous the Sticky String Kaiju. Help get rid of problem monsters. 2 System Down for ABC. And 2 Mask of Restrict for Monarchs and True Dracos. Now for the extra deck, I just run a small rank 4 engine. I mean, there's a lot more cards that I could put in here, but you know, this deck really don't need an extra deck. But if you're gonna play something, you know, here's just a starter to get your extra deck. 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Castell, 1 Dark Rebellion, and 1 number 70 Malevolent Sin. Alright guys, that was it for the deck profile. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh videos.